Hey, welcome to the video. I'm Melissa, I write books. Happy Monday. I need to go to work in like 2 minutes, so this is not gonna be a long drawn out intro. We are writing a book this week. I just thought if I didn't start it now, I never would. But I have a pretty open week, so I'm looking forward to getting a lot of words. My relative goal is to do about a chapter a day, which is about 2,000 words a day, but that's also written and edited. So we will see if that is actually possible. But I just hit the midpoint like yesterday, and so I'm gonna be writing like the meat of the midpoint and Act 2 Part 2. I don't think I realized I was on to Act 2 Part 2 until literally this moment. But this Act 2 Part 2 I'm particularly excited about, so I'm not worried about it. It's not gonna cause any problems, and there will be no plot issues in Act 2 Part 2. Yeah, I'm Melissa, I write books. Let's get into it, everybody.
The fall is coming, I can feel it.
So it's the end of the workday on Monday, and I want to write, but I also don't want to go too crazy. Like this last weekend, I wrote like 8,000 words, which is a lot. It's a lot of words, but also I wrote like yesterday, I wrote something like for 4 hours, and I did that the same thing on Saturday and Friday, and I don't want to burn out. Not that I really think I will, but I don't feel the need to like write 2 hours today. I had kind of hoped that like at noon I was like, I'm gonna go home and write for 2 hours, but I think I'm just gonna take it a little slower. I did some cleaning. I would like to go to the pool. I would like to just kind of do some normal resetting, make dinner for the week kind of things. I have my computer set up, ready to go. I think I'm gonna do 225s actually, and see where I'm at after that. Maybe I'll do another. Maybe I'll go for 325s. It's like an hour and a half of writing. It's pretty good because I do want to continue to make forward momentum. I think I talked about this in the last video potentially, but I am right at the midpoint. Like the scene that comes next is very action heavy. I do need to think a little more about, like we're really entering Act 2 Part 2, which I think I was just talking about, but with that coming up, it's new characters, it's new settings, it's new, like we're meeting this group of people for the first time, and I think it'll be kind of an exploration for me too of like what's going on. I know like on a logistical level, but right now they kind of seem like supervillains. Like it feels like we're going into a town full of supervillains, and I want it to be more nuanced than that. And I think I've done an okay job like laying the groundwork for like, we know the motivations of these people. Like we know why they're doing what they're doing. And so I just haven't actually written the people yet. And so I don't really know anything about them. So it might go a little slower, but also our main character is going to split now again for an unknown amount of chapters, to be honest. I think it's going to start to get tricky because there's a lot of ground we need to cover with Dahlia's point of view in Act 2 Part 2, but then Cecil, like, he goes to like, his job is, no, it's not really that simple, to be honest. I just haven't like thought through the scenes. You know, I've been sprinting to the midpoint. I feel like this is often how writing goes for me, as I think of it more in like when I was at the beginning, I was sprinting toward them meeting and being on the page together, which is about the beginning of Act 2. And then now I've been sprinting to the midpoint, and I've been, not even sprinting, that makes it sound like I haven't been like caring about the words. I have been, but like I have at the bottom of each chapter like bullet points of the scenes that are coming up. So that I know where I'm headed and where the POV is going to switch and stuff like that. But that list of bullet pointed scenes had ended at the midpoint. And so now that we're there, I know generally the next 5 or so chapters, but from there, I have a Save the Cat, but it's not very detailed scene wise. So it's going to be a little bit more exploration, and I might need to go a little bit slower, so that I can make sure that their choices and like what happens feels authentic to the story. Like these last 8,000 words were easy to get through. Not, I wouldn't say easy, but like they were more easy to get through because I knew what was going on. And like, though there were elements that were being introduced that I needed to spend time with, I knew where we were going. And so I could kind of just like push through it. And now this section, it's just a little bit more leaning back, reflecting, thinking, to make sure that I'm not writing myself off a cliff. You know, like I'm writing this story where it needs to go. That'll be challenging, but I don't think I'll run into that honestly today or tomorrow because I still need to edit through the ending of the last chapter I wrote, which will probably take on probably around a half hour, and then start writing the next one. And I know like the next 2 or 3 chapters I'm pretty clear on. So I don't think I'll really run into it until later this week. I'm so behind on laundry. I feel like every other vlog I'm like, you guys, I need to do the laundry. And then I just never do it. I mean, I do it, but then so that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to write for like 3 hours tonight or anything. I'm just going to have like a small-ish writing session, a few hours, and then also like kind of reacclimate. Because I have a pretty open week, like I have time to do this, so. Oh, this means I need to start writing, doesn't it? Girl, let's do it, I guess.
Silk lining, delicate paper, tangerine.
Okay. It's Wednesday. I'm so sorry. It's Wednesday, I fear. And it's been a subpar writing week, I would say, so far. Monday was kind of had a busy day on Monday, so I don't think I did any, like, actual writing. I think I maybe wrote like 500 words, and of course my camera's dying. But yesterday, Tuesday, I tried to write, and it just was at like the worst time of day. And I've also been a little ill. Not really. I just feel like I'm tired and I have a stuffy nose. It's not really anything that would prevent me from writing, but I've just been really intimidated by the chapter I'm working on because there's so many layers and levels going on. Like, there's so much that needs to happen emotionally. There's so much that needs to happen physically. There's all these new characters. It's just like, there's a lot that needs to be handled in this chapter. And I think I was originally really intimidated by it because I felt like I needed to get it all the first time around. Like I needed to get the setting and the action and the dialogue and the interiority and the emotion. And I know that I'm just describing writing any scene ever, but this one, it just like, there's a lot going on. And not only is it a high action scene, but it's also a high emotion scene. I feel like I've had a lot of high emotion scenes and a lot of high action scenes, but not a lot of them have been both action and emotion. And so it was kind of hard for me to get into it. Oh, Monday, did I try to write at a coffee shop? No. I do think, like, I did write 8,000 words last weekend, and so I think it's okay that I'm taking a couple of days to kind of get back into it, or to, like, take a day off from it, actually. But today I wrote for about an hour, or I like did 2 sprints that equaled about an hour. And I think I'm getting to the end of the chapter. It's like 7:30. I just need to remember to acknowledge that, like, if I have a weekend where I write 8,000 words and I write like 4 hours a day, like that's gonna impact me. And I think I'm just pretending that it's not gonna impact me because I don't want it to. Because I want to just be able to I just want to be able to continue to move forward at that pace. But the writing that like the words themselves have just been like not as good. And I don't want to be writing when the words aren't as good. I know it's a first draft, and so I can't be expecting everything to be like Pulitzer. But because there are scenes that feel like that in this book, like there are scenes that feel really strong. When a scene doesn't feel strong, it's like discouraging, and I'm trying to not let that get to me. This chapter, though, I think I'm almost done with it. I think one more sprint will get me to the end of the chapter, and then I'll probably need about an hour to edit through it and really like bring some nice prose to it. Like I just feel like on a line level, I've just been like there's just been too many words and the tone has been weird and just, I don't know. I also need to remember that there's like a 30% rule that I like to remember. It's the same thing with sports, where 30% of the time you're going to feel really great doing the thing. 30% of the time you're going to feel like, okay, that's fine, I did it. And then 30% of the time it's going to feel really bad. And I feel like I've just had a couple of those bad sprints. But that doesn't mean I should stop working on it. It just means like I just need to keep at it. And I just need to also, I was reminded today that this is only the first time I'm writing this scene. I can go back to it as many times. I can start a blank page and rewrite it if I want to. I don't know. I think that this scene has so much like buttery potential. Like there's so many things about it that I like, and I want to maximize the scene. Like I want, when you read a book and there's something that happens, like for me, it's like if there's a kidnapping that happens, I have certain expectations. Nobody's telling like it's fine if they're not met, but I have certain expectations. If a character gets kidnapped, I'm expecting certain things. I'm expecting there to be a reunion. I'm expecting there to be some sort of comfort, like some sort of feeling, some like interiority. I'm expecting, if it's a romance, the other POV to do a lot of like yearning and being sad and upset and like wanting to search for the person and like be struggling with them being gone and then I'm expecting things from situations, and I think that's pretty normal. Like also if let's say it's a one bed trope and you write the one bed trope and then you don't deliver on the one bedness of it all. Not saying that it needs to be a spicy scene even, but like if there's no fruition on the setup of that, I feel like a reader could be disappointed of like, oh, you're gonna give me the no, but like there's only one bed scene, but they're not even gonna snuggle. Like, like that. I feel like this is one of those scenes where I have expectations for it. Like I have expectations about how both characters are going to feel and the way that the chapter is going to feel and the things that are going to happen in the scene. And it's just there's a lot going on because they're like running from a location to another location. They're watching something happen. So I need to be clear about like, what are they seeing happen, but also how are they feeling about it? But then also like, it's in his POV, but she's making the decision, so he has to like interpret what her decision is, and then like they're having a conversation, but they're also watching another conversation, and he's also feeling a lot in this moment. Like it's a very high emotion moment, so it's just a lot of things to balance, and I think it's gonna take multiple passes of like going back through and like, okay, how is he feeling? Like, let's put some setting here. Let's put let's have the words sing, like I want the words themselves to be pretty, which is it's new for me to want that, but I am really, really loving writing scenes that I like to read and doing some of that line level stuff early. So that's just kind of an update on how it is going. I don't know, it's such a balance. It's such a balance because I just want to move forward, but I also don't want to write when I don't think the words are going to be good. Like I don't want to write things that I'm going to have to rewrite later, But I mean, that's also part of the process, so it's fine if I do. Here is also something. I shelved Project Sunshine on August 22nd. And today is September 25th. Like that's like just over a month. And I'm already at the midpoint of a new book, like 35,000 words into a book. Like I have been moving very fast, but I've talked vaguely about goals for this project. I would like to draft this whole book in 2 months. I don't know why, but I just kind of decided that. And I am at the midpoint. I am on track to do that. There's this battle within me because I want to like write every day and try to do a certain number of chapters a week and try to move forward in a way that is consistent with the pace. Because now that I'm at the midpoint, I can kind of see like it is realistic for me to get this book done in October, by the end of October. Because it's only been a month that I've been working on it really, and I'm already at the midpoint. And it is a shorter book, I should say. I'm at 33,000 words, I think, and I'm at the midpoint. So I do think that this draft is going to be small. I think it's going to be like 60 or 70,000 words, which I'm fine with. I know it's a romantasy, and so like fantasy books are like typically longer than other books, but I'm fine with the first draft of it being 60 to 70,000 words, and then I can flesh out what I think I need to. Honestly, after I write the second book, because my plan, if you didn't know, I'm gonna write the first book September, October, and then the second book November, December, which is insane. But I want to write it as if it's one book. And if you think about, like, a lot of people write fantasy novels that are 130,000 words, 140,000 words, and like that's honestly probably going to be around the length of the first draft of the duology. So it's sort of like I'm trying to write one big giant book by the end of the year, but it is a duology, and I think I would rather have it be a smaller first draft and be able to like expand upon things, because there's already, like, I can think of places where I could add another chapter if I have the word count. I could flesh out certain things more, but I do want the romance to stay at the center of this, at least while I'm drafting, so that I can be really centered on what the story is. I tend to, in the past, I've had like really long first drafts, and then I cut and have a really short second drafts, and then I find the medium as the third draft. And I think I'm just kind of combining my first and second draft in a lot of ways. Like I'm cutting a lot as I go. Honestly, if I hadn't been, because if I haven't talked about this in this video, like when I finish writing a chapter, I go back and I edit the chapter. And sometimes that makes it longer, but it also like weeds out some things. And so, I don't know, I'm not super concerned about word count at this point, because I'd rather have a really manageable size draft to be able to edit and expand upon. But also, it might be longer. I don't know how long the second half's going to be. The second half is much looser in my head than the first half was, which is always, always, always the case for me. I don't know why, but yeah. So that's what's up. Back to what I was originally saying. I think I've started 18 sentences and not finished a single one of them. I also started listening to the Veronica Speedwell series again, which is very an autumnal audiobook that I have enjoyed listening to. I just started the first book again, which I haven't read the first book probably in 2 to 3 years. I was at my apartment, so that must have been 3 years ago. I don't know, but there's 9 books in it, and I kind of want to just listen all the way through this fall. Okay, so turns out it was more serious. I mean, not serious. I realized literally 2 seconds after filming that clip that I was actually like really sick. Not really sick as in like go to the hospital, but in like, oh, I need to go to bed and like sleep all day kind of sick. Just like sinuses, tired, body aches, cold, all the cold symptoms. So it's like 7 p.m. the next day. I don't know, I've been sleeping all day. So no writing was done today. I'm gonna clean up because literally, how is it that I've only been out of commission for 1 day? And like, I'm just gonna do a quick pan. Like, this is the state. I don't understand like how that happened. I've been sleeping most of it. Like, who is making, it's me. I'm the one making the mess, but like how? So I'm gonna do that. Is it Thursday today? I think it probably is. Yes, Thursday. So we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming tomorrow, potentially. I don't know. Just decided I'm gonna commit to like 1 day being out of commission. And I mean, if I need to be more, that's fine too, but hopefully we'll be back at it tomorrow at some point.
It's only a dream. Nothing is really what it seems anyway. Now little by little, in the twilight's gentle flow, in the dance of fading light we grow.
I just was at the coffee shop and had finally a good writing session for the week, and it's Friday. Oh my goodness. It's actually fine, but I mean, I was there for like 4 hours or something crazy. I did probably, I don't know, 2 hours of sprints maybe. I basically edited through the chapter I've been writing all week. It does feel decent now. It is like a beefy chapter. It is like a 2,600 word chapter, which is beefy for me. So I'm feeling good about that. I do need to outline now. And not even outline. I need to do a little chapter by chapter moment, because I have, I did this at the beginning of Act 2 Part 1, and now that I'm in Act 2 Part 2, I need to actually figure out what the next 10 to 12 scenes are. I've just reached the end of the I made a list of the next 10 to 12 scenes 10 to 12 scenes ago, and I knew where I was going, and so now I need to do that again, and it's more difficult this time because now they are in different locations. They have split, and so I need to figure out, but then they come back into the same location later in Act 2 Part 2, so I need to figure out when is that gonna happen, and the same number of chapters need to go for each person, so that will be my next big task. If I'm feeling if a miracle happens and I feel like I have energy in an hour and a half when I finish what I need to do for the day, then I will do some of that tonight, but I think that's going to be tomorrow's main task. I think it'll be kind of a beefy task to do, and then I'll be able to jump in. I'm trying to not lose my steam. I know this tends to happen to me. It's Act 2 Part 2 is when I start to lose my steam for drafting, and then it comes back at the end when I can see the end, because right now it's I'm halfway through, but I still have half of the book to write, so I'm not really close to the end, but I'm also I don't know. I'm not super worried about it because I do really like what happens in Act 2 Part 2. I just need to figure out how it happens. I know what happens, I just don't know how it happens, if that makes any sense literally whatsoever. But I'm happy to have had a good session. I'm still feeling a little out of it, to be honest. So I'm going to go home and finish up some things for the week, and then maybe go on a walk. I feel like I should go on a walk, but I also feel like I'm dead inside, Hi. It's Saturday, and I really thought that I was going to be changing my narrative about what I was doing, but I fear I'm still just not 100%. And I'm very annoyed about it, but I am trying to not dwell. If you remember my fall reset video, I had this whole little section where I was for the fall, I want to have less guilt about if days or hours slip by without me doing every little thing that I thought that I should do, which are all things I'm making up. Nobody's saying that I should do them, right? And I think a part of that is okay, I'm sick, I'm not feeling great, I'm low. I don't need to sit here and think about that, and be oh, I'm so annoyed that I'm sick and that I haven't been doing things. I'm so annoyed, I've been sick since Wednesday or Thursday, and my brain energy is low, and blah, 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 blah. I could just keep on. Oh, I could have been writing. Oh, I could have been. This is how I'm feeling. Trying to push is not gonna help. I feel if I get to a point where it's I've been feeling this way for a week, a full week, and because honestly, I'm the type of sick today. I feel where I could go out in public and I'd be fine. It's just my actual brain is tired. I sound a little congested, and I am a little, but it's not to a point where I couldn't go out into the world. I just have a headache, and I just, my brain processing is slow, and yet I'm also really overthinking a lot of things. I don't know what that's about. Also, when I don't have a lot to do, my mind starts to go a little bit. It's a little ooh, let's think about everything, which I don't love. I still think I'm on track, and honestly, there is not really an on track. Usually I'm okay, I want to get to the midpoint by this date, and the other by this date, and by the end. And this book, I just don't know how long it's going to be, and so I haven't been making a lot of super strict, detailed out goals. See, my brain processing is so, like, I feel like I can't even say words. Which has been making it difficult to write too, which I should just stop trying, frankly. I should just, like, not try to write. But, like, roughly, I'd like to finish the book by the end of October, and I've just hit the midpoint, and I still have a few days left of September, so I'm, like, pretty on track with that. And Act 3 tends to go quickly, so I'm not super worried about. And also, it's like, who cares when I finish it? Like, 2 months to finish a draft is, like, very quick, especially doing it longhand and all this stuff. And my camera's dying, which it's telling me to stop. But I have been writing a little bit today, but I haven't been actually writing. I've been just outlining. I made a tab on my Scrivener called Next Step on Glee. I've never seen Glee. I just keep, I don't know, here's what you missed on Glee. I keep doing that in my writing. Like, at the... And so I just have a tab of, like, big picture, here's what happens to Act 2 Part 2. And then I've been doing it chapter by chapter. And it's taken me, like, 40 minutes to write, like, 5 bullet points. Okay. Oh, I have nowhere to sit. Everything is a mess. Everything is a mess! I don't understand how it can... Welcome to a great, fun vlog where Alyssa gets a lot done and is super happy. Okay. In upsetting but not altogether shocking news, I'm still out of it. But sometimes, though, like, it is a mental game, though, because sometimes if I decide mentally that I'm sick, then I just, like, convince myself of that. But I am. Like, I just am, and it's annoying. But I think I am on my way out of it. Like, I don't know. Okay, so then I watched some Doctor Who. Welcome to a vlog where I do no writing. Watched some Doctor Who, which was fine. I'm in the middle of season 8, and every time I try to give season 8 a try, I'm, like, really earnest, and I'm like, I can watch season 8. Like, I'm excited. Like, I do like the actors. Like, I do like the storylines. And then there's, like, 4 episodes in a row where I'm like, I just, like, don't really care. Like, it's just losing its whimsy, you know? Which I just remember about the later seasons of this show. It just, like, loses its fairy tale feeling, which is fine. It just, like, takes a different direction. It's more dark, it's grittier, which is fine, but it's just, like, not very fun for me. Anyway, I tried to crochet a pumpkin, and it said it was for beginners, and it was not. It was not for beginners. I think I'm just gonna stick to knitting. Crocheting, like, I tried to watch all these tutorials, and then I just got angry because I couldn't do any of it, so then I just gave up on that dream, and that's fine. But then I finished a whole puzzle. I think I need to go back up to 1,000-piece puzzles because I've been doing 500-piece puzzles for a while because the pieces are bigger and I like it more. But now I keep doing them in, like, 2 days, and I'm like, I need it to take longer, you know? But I've also just decided that maybe I just needed a week from my project before I sat with the second half. Like, maybe this is my body's way of being like, hey, maybe you've been writing kind of, like, crazy for a month and you've just hit the midpoint. Like, maybe it is good to take a step back and, like, take a tiny break from it before going back and writing the second half, because I do tend to get kind of exhausted of the book, of drafting, and then I feel like I'm just kind of trudging through the second half waiting to get to the end, and that's not how I want to feel about the second half. So maybe this was all for the best. I know a couple weeks ago, Brielle took a whole week off of writing, and then when she came back, she was like a monsoon of writing. Like, she was, like, on... And she's still going. I get a text from her, like, after 45 minutes being like, let's write. And I'm like, girl, if I had the brain energy, I would. But, then I'm like, maybe I do. Maybe I do have... Welcome to my brain, where I just, like... I want to be writing, but I also don't want to write when I shouldn't be writing. And also my house is a mess, and I don't understand because I've cleaned it so many times. Okay, but I think what I'm gonna do, which none of this is really gonna be in the vlog, I fear, so you'll just have to, like, imagine it in your head. I'm going to go on a walk, and then I'm gonna take a shower, and I'm gonna nap. It's like 4 almost. Oh my gosh, is it 4? I still need to go to church. But then that's always the thing too of like, am I too sick to go to church? Like, it's just sitting. Like, it's not really like that. And I don't want to get the other people sick. But also like, am I even sick? And then tomorrow I have to decide if I'm going into work or not. And I've already took 2 days remote from work. Like, I'm still working, but I was remote. And I'm like, I don't want to go to a third day. But like, honestly, it doesn't matter. Okay, I guess I have pretty much written every day still. I think it was Friday, actually. So literally I wrote yesterday and the day before. So really, I just need to not do this. Like, I am literally fine. Like, it's fine if I don't write for 1 day. Okay. Also, I think we should just end this video because I just said I was gonna do all those things. But none of them, Okay, I think if I just start a new video, then, I should also record a video. Then we will just start a new video, a new week, feeling better. Okay, TBD. If I see you, I see you. If I don't, goodbye. Okay, see you next time.
The trees, they are singing to the tune of a song, and the wind is gently ringing the bell that brings the morning, welcome of the dawn. The voice of the robin, the call of the dove,